Severn Flylife conference, obviously organised by the Severn Rivers Trust and partially sponsored by the National Lottery. It's our last bit of National Lottery funding. It will have disappeared, so any ongoing costs for monitoring and kits and all that kind of stuff will be to us.
The Severn Child Association hosts the partnership, but basically it's a partnership of 60 supporting organisations. That's everyone from Natural History Museum and Natural England and the Environment Agency. And the Environment Agency give us most of our funding. This year they're giving us £120,000, so it gives you an idea of how important they see it. And it goes right down to fisheries trusts and indeed individuals as well. We're entomologists, scientists, watercourse managers, and the great thing is we're anglers. And people say to anglers, you know, anglers say, what can I actually do to make a difference? Well, this is something they really can do, and really make a difference on a local level.
And then problematical really in terms of sampling, because the river is so deep and the flows fluctuate so much that it's often difficult to get results. We have a sampling point at Coalport, and again we've set the trigger level at 4, and you can see from our results we're way above that. We possibly could have set the trigger level a little higher really, but when you see the angling results to show you the spread of them in our area, and I mean this is a massive area and really 13 just isn't enough, so if you know of anybody who wants to add to our network of what they call them? Interested amateurs, was it?
Yes.
Volunteers.
Interested volunteers, was that it? Okay, so if you know of anyone who wants to add to that, we'd be more than welcome to train them, etc. The advantage of the anglers' scores in that they're monthly scores. You know, we've got May, June, July, we've missed August for some reason, September and October, and in the agency we couldn't possibly give that level of interest to all of the rivers that we deal with, so to get that from the anglers is fantastic.
Ava, next with Nicola.
Next site is on the Preston Bagot Brook, so just above stream of the Alm. Really nice site because it's linked to our Alm site. We've got good scores correlating to each other. Again, similar problems, phosphate, ammonia from sewage works is our main issues. Again, like Alm site 2, really constant scores. We have a slight dip in the summer, which is predictable, which is why we set lower trigger levels so that we don't pick up any seasonal variation. Again, nice trigger level score of 7. If we see anything below that, it is a really big problem that's happened on this river, so we can react to that. My last site, sorry going back, is on Bellsmill. This is a completely different situation up here on the Stour to what we've got on the Alm. The problems here are to do with urbanisation from Dudley. We've got a lot of sewage works. The actual river itself isn't as nice habitats, so we've got a completely different situation happening here to the other sites. As you can see from the scores, we've got top scores of 5, which, like Ros mentioned, 4s are showing an impact. So to have a top score of 5, we know that this river's deeply impacted by problems occurring in it. Unfortunately, I've not got a routine site close by, so my trigger level isn't accurate yet. I need to have more data, maybe sometime into next year. I'll be able to set a more accurate trigger level that's following how the seasonal variation of this river is occurring.
Good morning, my name is Philip Williams. I'm from the Kyne Valley River Group. I'm here with my wife Pepper, who is also a member, with Tony Stott, another member, and supported by the Environmental Agency as well. The Kyne Valley River Group started in June '08. I think its initial inspiration was concerned with the condition of the river as it went through Llanfachlin, where there was quite a lot of rubbish on the river, and the river actually flows around the back of Llanfachlin in a sort of strange sort of way. And it was a sort of appreciation that this river could be an asset to the people in the area, and it wasn't being treated in that way. The group aims to raise awareness of the value of the river, and arranges monthly events really to clean up the river. And in this next year, our target is going to be dreaded Himalayan balsam, of which we have some. And we are concerned with the Environment Agency to enhance and preserve wild trout.
You know, these children were, you know, the sons and daughters, the granddaughters and sons of farmers in the area, and I had farmers ringing me up saying, look, you know, we really appreciate what you're doing with our kids. Come and visit my farm. Come and tell me what I need to do to preserve the stocks. And what's really happened in the Kyne is that the salmon has really been taken to heart effectively, and it's the real driver behind some of, you know, the initiatives that's being undertaken. And you know, we release salmon you know, as part of our normal programme at the local agricultural show through the schools and what have you, and we've had a lot of interest, and it's growing. And my project now is extending into the Thanet Valley, which is just slightly to the north, and we're going to repeat the same again if we can. I mean, the budget's a lot tighter now, to be fair.
The previous director, Simon Johnson, and he saw this as the sort of the route by which the Wild Trout Trust could help these various groups. And the bread and butter of it is the advisory visit and report, where myself or a colleague, it's on the cusp. It's the sort of area where it could be, if it's left alone, it would be heather and bilberries and rushes and bog and stuff like that. But it doesn't take a lot of land drains to turn it into something that could be grazed for livestock. And it's that sort of push and pull really that has the impact on the river. Now, we did some work on this river with the Trent Rivers Trust.
So that really is the great sort of, I think the great benefit that we bring to this whole sort of big society thing. That if it wasn't for anglers and it wasn't for fisheries, then our rivers and lakes would be in a far more parlous state than they are at the moment. The value of the river, these children learning the value of their river, and that's what our project has really hammered home. It's been done through schools, through 3 schools up there. The feedback from teachers has been fantastic. It really has. The professionalism of the instructors was paramount, and the fact that these children, I know you've heard about it also, but you don't need to teach them to get stuck into the water and start doing invert samples or whatever. They just love it. But learning the importance, that ecosystem service importance, although you don't call it ecosystem services, otherwise they go to sleep. But they you know, get them at this age, then you've really got them for life. And we're now looking at ways in which we can roll that out. But we can't possibly do it financially to the whole area. But there are so many people doing this work, Rivers Trusts and WTT and many other people have these educational programs, and how we can coordinate that in a way that we get it into the national curriculum, and we really get rivers again up that interest and importance. He was looking for a river that looked something like it may have done 8,000 years ago, and he couldn't find one anywhere in the UK. He had to go to the depths of the French countryside, and I thought that was a bit of indictment of the way that we look after our natural environment in this country.
Again, but I wouldn't want anybody to think that the Severn Rivers Trust is a Severn Salmon Trust. That isn't the case. We are interested in all species and all habitats, but the salmon's had quite a bit of focus. In the next 2 weeks, 358 went through, and in the next 10 days after that, 343 went through. So we had like nearly 700 fish in 3 weeks, and previous to that there'd just been 20. So there was a big run of fish right after, well, the actual angling season had closed. There you go, they're there. I've said to people, I wouldn't want you to think that the salmon on the Severn is on the edge of extinction. You know, there are a lot of fish there, but being caught is a different matter altogether. And the glass eels or elder can pretty much just drift in, so it's only a very short window. So again, we're going to do some work on how the glass eels navigate through these flaps, and look at ways of keeping them open for longer periods to allow a greater escapement of eels. So as I say, that's new for this year, and we've got to spend about £45,000 on it. Dippers, we've been involved with a dipper survey on the river team now for 3 years, because 2010 we've also supported it, and to a greater extent, I have to say. We just made a small contribution in 2008, and our contribution to the programme has increased each year. I guess the overall